What's up, welcome back. John Stark, MovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm here to tell you that Season 1, Episode 5 of Daredevil, Born Again, does not suck. I know, it seems shocking to say that, but at this point, I've been pretty disappointed all the way through with the Daredevil episodes since the premiere. I've heard a lot of the criticism from people who watch the series, and I agree with a lot of it. The biggest concern that I have is, where did Karen go? like, that was a really poor way to write off her character, if that's a permanent write-off, and such an asinine inclusion way of doing it too. Because it's like the show spent seasons building up this relationship, and then in a matter of seconds, and they already have had that dynamic where she's like, no matter what, I'm not leaving you. No matter what, I'm not leaving you. And then all of a sudden she's like, never mind, I'm leaving you. So, yeah, valid. Absolutely some valid points. But some people are like, well, Daredevil would never kill anybody. Well, technically he didn't. What's asinine about that is that Bullseye survives that fall. So, I mean, like, there are things that don't work. And I get the need to do that scene. And I liked the first episode for the most part. So I was intrigued going into it. I thought that we might get something interesting with White Tiger. We did not. I thought, they were really hyping up the introduction of the Punisher. Don't hype that if that's what that is. They're like, man, when people see the Punisher again, they're really going to go nuts. I was like, for that? Is a shell of what he once was? Okay. It kind of is reflective of what the show is. So then episode 5 comes along, and we have sort of a bottle episode that takes place inside of a bank. It's a bank robber episode. Bank robbing episode. Bank robbering. The timing is odd because it's a St. Patrick's Day episode, but it's premiering after St. Patrick's Day, notably, and not even the Wednesday right after it, but like the full week after it. So it feels like that this episode should have been included last week. Like, if we're going to get 2 episodes in a week, we should have gotten 2 episodes last week. But I think they were so fixated on ending with that Punisher episode that they were like, oh, well, never mind. And it's like, but this is the St. Patrick's Day episode, and the further away that you move from St. Patrick's Day, it just makes it look like you didn't time the series correctly. Nobody wants to see the Christmas episode in January. Yeah, but it's also the best episode. So, it's very simple. Matt is looking for a loan to, help his law firm survive. And the guy that's working at his bank is Mr. Khan, Kamala's dad, who's been through his own set of adventures, as we've seen if you've watched the Marvels and or the Miss Marvel TV series. I mean, his whole family ended up on that ship in the Marvels for whatever reason, and they were the cats and everything. I don't know. I'm sure you deleted it or just didn't see it, the Marvels, which is fine, but not his first occurrence outside of the Miss Marvel franchise. So he's got a little bobblehead of his daughter on his desk, and it's kind of a nice little tie-in. It's sort of unexpected, but it's an interesting way to nod to a character. And Matt's like, no, I've never heard of her. You've never heard of her? Anyway, this is what frustrates me about the Marvel properties is you have superheroes who exist like in the same, like within proximity of each other. And like, how are you not heard of someone and the shit that they dealt with or the events that occurred in around them? I always thought about that. I was like, with all of these heroes that are located in New York, shouldn't they know who they are? Who each other? And then Where were they when the first Avengers movie was? Were they fighting? It's always a question for me, is these heroes that are in so close proximity to each other, how do they not know who their existence? Um, but he knows who White Tiger is. So weird. Anyway, um, yeah, this is a group that comes in. The main guy's Irish, love it, and they're looking to rob this bank, and then they get in the vault, and clearly, like, the main guy knows what's up, but does everybody in his crew? I don't know. They take some people hostage, and Matt sort of negotiates. At first, he has left, but he uses his supersonic hearing to hear the bank being robbed, and then wanders back in like a blind guy, just like, what? Is there something going on here? I'm sorry, I'm blind. I didn't know. Just so, and then of course ends up beating some ass and saving the day as expected. I mean, that's kind of a spoiler, but at the same time, it's a recap, and that's what happens in recaps, the spoilers come out. So, I like the episode, and there was a reveal that the brunette woman who, I guess he was pretending to kill, was maybe in on it as well, because she walked away with a jewelry bag that had candy in it instead of the diamond. So, yeah, it was, I think this is the best episode. I think it was tight. It told a story. It didn't veer off into unnecessary side plots, or we didn't feel like we were getting a downgraded version of anything. I just thought this episode was the best episode that actually had come out. So it features no Kingpin in the episode. He's not here. So yeah, Daredevil Born Again. I know it's a short recap, but I don't really have much else to say except for thank God we made we made an episode that sort of answers why we should bring Daredevil back. If this episode was directed by somebody different than the previous episodes, I would say this person needs to take over creative control over the series. So I'm gonna give this episode an A, because it was by far the most entertaining thing that I've seen from this series thus far, and gives me hope that maybe during this run that we'll get some rewarding moments. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.